Let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes I see people make when it comes to Google Drive and Google Docs and not being able to find their files when they want them. And that giant mistake that I see is people come up here and instead of clicking on Google Drive, they click on Docs because they're thinking, I want to find a doc. I want to create a Google Doc. And so they come here. Coming here to Docs is essentially like just grabbing a giant stack of papers. I have all of these Google Docs here, and they're documents by title, I guess, is how they're organized. I don't even know how these are organized. Yeah, I can sort them by title, date open, last open, things like that. I can click here, but then I basically just have to go to my drive and click. And why wouldn't I just go to my drive? That's unnecessarily complicated. I can do a grid view, which some people do, but like, let's be honest, that's hard to see. Coming to Docs is, like I said, it's like just taking a giant stack of papers and flipping through them, hoping you're gonna find the one that you want. And if this is how you create docs, let's create a new blank document. And let's call this giant mistake people make, delete later, so I remember to delete it. So people, they make this doc, they type up all of their beautiful stuff, and then they can never find it. Now, if I X out of this, if I gotta get back into the right account. If I come to Docs, it might be at it's not even here. People are like, I just made it and I can't find it. I don't remember what I named it, so I can't even search for it. Now I could go maybe date last opened by me, see, and then I can find it today. But what happens when I created this months ago and I need it and it's just somewhere down here in the earlier category? I'm never gonna find this. And when people create docs like this, they don't often do the extra step of coming here and putting it in a folder someplace, saving it somewhere. Like it's like filing it away in a filing cabinet. So if I'm telling you never to come to Docs, where should you go instead? You should always go to Drive. Go to your filing cabinet. Drive is like a filing cabinet. When you make things by doc, like I just did this giant mistakes, it just chucks it into the general My Drive section. Well, what happens is then you end up with a giant list of things and you'll never actually find what you need when you need it. So how do we fix this? Well, if you have things here, you can just drag them over here. Let's just put this in projects. Now let's go to areas. Let's just put this in my email list. There we go, since this is for the email list. So now this is actually filed away in a folder somewhere where it makes sense. There it is. It's just like opening up a filing cabinet and finding the right folder with the paper that you want. Now, the other option, and I'm going to trash that, how I create my Google Docs is first I come to Drive. Then I go to the place I want it to be stored. So I don't know, let's just come to Archive and let's go to the GSD trainings. And let's say that I wanted to create a catalog of all of my Get Stuff Done trainings. That's not actually what they were called, but that's what we'll call it. So when I'm actually in the folder where I want the document to live, this is when I'm going to go new Google Doc. And look, I get my new Google Doc, GSD catalog, delete later. There we go. And I make my beautiful Google Doc, la 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 la. Now, right here, it's already saved. Here it is. It's already filed away in the folder where I'm going to be able to find it later. It's not just floating around in my drive. Now, if I want to come and I want to find that, there's a few things we can do. What I do, I come to my drive and I go to the folder where I've saved it because I know where that is, and I open it up and I get back to work on my file. It's just like opening up a filing cabinet and going to the right actual file where the paper is stored. The other thing you can do you can come to My Drive and you can click on Recent. And it will be there for recent. So like here it is, I opened it today. That's another way you can find it. If it's something you're actively really working on, you can also come up here, click this little star. There we go. So that's now starred. And again, you can come to Google Drive, you can click on Starred, and here's stuff that is starred that maybe you want really quick temporary access to. And there's my file. How easy was that to get to? That's much easier than me coming to Docs and scrolling forever. Now, granted, this is recent. I have it sorted by last opened by me. But if you have it just sorted by title, which I think is the default, I'm gonna have to like scroll forever. I don't even remember what I called it. I think I can hit, well, nope, I can't. I hit G thinking it would take me, I'm gonna just scroll all the way down until I get to the G's. Or, I could search for it. There it is. If you remember what it's even called. But in my experience, a lot of people forget what they named it and they just can't find things. So what are you not gonna click? Don't click on Google Docs. It's just like a giant pile of papers. Why would you sort through a giant pile of papers when you could just open up your filing cabinet, go to the right folder, and find the file that you need?